spree. Voided talking nonsense hilariously.
Hey there, Andrew from C1D Paintball. Time for another comical thing. This one's for Mike. Mike Nichols does a lot of great things at C1D. Just have to show up to really be a part of the group, but he goes above and beyond doing stuff he loves to do that benefits us all. So we love you, Mike. Hope you get the spirit of this video, man. Otherwise, I'm sorry. It was just a joke.
Mike's Psychedelic Breakfast. Mike sat at his heavy oak kitchen table, the morning sun streaming through the stained glass hangings in the window. He hummed a low, rhythmic tune as he dug into a bowl of very special sautéed mushrooms. The colors of the kitchen seemed a bit more vibrant than usual, the clay-molded edges of his coffee mug softening into a gentle glow. He had a big day ahead. A group of fans from his C1D paintball videos had invited him to a legendary hidden forest field for a private match. When Mike arrived at the trailhead, he was greeted by Ochre, a dedicated fan wearing a bright neon jersey. The forest felt ancient, the trees towering like pillars of emerald clay. "Ready for the ride of your life, Mike?" Ochre asked with a wide, toothy grin. Mike checked his hopper and adjusted his goggles, feeling a strange tingle at the tips of his fingers. The air smelled like pine needles and something sweet, like melting candy. The whistle blew and the game began. Mike moved through the brush with practiced ease, his boots crunching on the leaf litter. He spotted an opponent behind a fallen log and took a shot. The splatter of blue paint was satisfyingly loud, but as he watched, the blue stain began to vibrate and hum. It didn't just sit there, it started to crawl up the bark like a liquid sapphire insect. Mike turned to signal Ochre, but his teammate was changing. Ochre's legs seemed to stretch like pulled taffy, and his footsteps left glowing, pulsating footprints on the moss. The pine trees around them began to groan and twist, their needles softening into long, feathery plumes of purple and gold. "The field is shifting," Mike shouted, though his own voice sounded like it was coming from the bottom of a deep, metallic well. Mike raised his marker to defend himself, but when he pulled the trigger, no paintballs came out. Instead, a stream of iridescent bubbles floated forth, each one containing a tiny, winking eye. The bubbles drifted lazily through the air, popping with the sound of tiny bells. Mike watched, mesmerized, as the forest floor began to dissolve into a checkerboard pattern of neon orange and lime green. Seeking cover, Mike dove toward a large, leafy bush. As he hit the ground, the bush developed a large, clay-molded mouth and began to whisper riddles about the color of the wind. "Stay low, wanderer," the bush murmured, its leaves fluttering like eyelashes. Mike stared at the plant, unable to look away, as the sky above turned a deep, bruised shade of magenta. Suddenly, a massive blue caterpillar emerged from behind a giant toadstool. It wore a tactical paintball vest and a high-end thermal mask perched atop its many-segmented head. It held a long, ornate pipe and blew a cloud of smoke that formed the shape of a C1D logo before turning into a flock of miniature birds. Mike lowered his marker, realizing that the rules of the game had been replaced by the logic of a dream. The gravity of the forest failed entirely. Mike felt himself lifting off the checkerboard ground, his body feeling light as a dandelion seed. He looked down and saw the other players spinning in slow motion, their paintballs turning into streaks of neon light that wove together like a cosmic tapestry. The trees began to melt into puddles of singing color, and the horizon started to fold in on itself like a piece of paper. Mike was swept into a kaleidoscope of pure sensation. He wasn't just playing paintball anymore, he was the paint, the forest, and the sky all at once. Faces of his teammates appeared in the swirling patterns, laughing and dissolving into geometric shapes. The sound of a distant, rhythmic thumping grew louder and louder, vibrating through his entire being until the world became a single, blinding flash of white light. Mike, Wake up, you're dreaming again. A soft voice broke through the cosmic hum. Mike opened his eyes to see the familiar pine plank ceiling of his bedroom. Miranda was standing over him, her dirty blonde ponytails swaying as she shook her head with a knowing smirk. She held a cold cloth to his forehead. "I told you not to eat those mushrooms for breakfast," she teased. "The C1D guys are waiting for you at the real field, and you're already 20 minutes late."
Game over.